Hey folks, it's Keith, Victor Echo 3 Sierra Victor Quebec, also known as the Shaky Key for this video blog that I do. And I want to look at an issue today that has come up several times actually in the last couple of weeks in classes that I teach and also in comments made to some of my older YouTube videos and so on. And what we're seeing is people who maybe took Morse code or studied Morse code many, many years ago, and there's an awful lot of us, myself included, and they learned by studying Morse code charts, dots and dashes. And in some cases, they were taught that way too back then. And I can remember taking courses or classes, if you want, where they would hold up a flashcard with a dot on a dash on, and you would be asked, what's the letter? And of course, the letter would be A. Now, things have changed now, so you won't find very much of that. I doubt you will find any recommendation that that's how you learn Morse code today. Lots of organizations teaching it, lots of ham radio clubs teaching it. They all have one aim, and that's to get you on the air. The issue is not which method is better than the other or which club is better than the other or whatever. They all want to get you on the air. All of the methods they use will get you on the air. And yes, there's disagreements in some way. Some use a paddle, some use a straight key. Some have a certain character speed that they like to teach. Others will have a faster character speed. The main thing for us is don't go looking down on any other method than the one you use or you teach, because they all work. Everyone learns differently. One of those methods will work for you and get you on the air, which is the ultimate aim of all of this, right? So there's a lot of baby boomers retiring, going back to learn Morse code, maybe for the first time, many others for the second time. And part of the issue today, and part of the issue that I was hearing from students in class, was this inability to break the habit that they learned, where they memorize, dots and dashes, and their brain wants to keep reverting back to that. And yes, it's an issue. It's an issue with me. It still is. And I learned Morse code in 1988. My brain still wants to count dots and dashes. So let's say, irregardless of the group you're using to learn Morse code with, or the system, or even the online app or the online websites, you've got to break that habit. You have to start listening to the sound patterns. And that's really what you have to do. Now, for those of us like myself who are taught with a lot of memorizing, when you decide you're going to suddenly learn Morse code, or you're going to go back and maybe finally do it, what do we all do? We go online, we Google how to learn Morse code. I did that just before I started to take this video. And I have to say, I had a good laugh. There were people out there that, saying, learn Morse code in 2 hours. You can learn Morse code in 15 minutes. And one other one, you can learn Morse code in 10 minutes. So as instructors or as individuals learning Morse code, that's what's out there. We have to expect that students are expecting maybe a magic wand. They're going to sit down, take a class, and hey, we're in business. We all know it takes time, an awful lot of practice. And that's one of the reasons why I always say, take a class with somebody. I'm not going to recommend any individual organization because they're all good. They may teach slightly differently. Like I say, character speeds may be slightly different. You decide which one works for you. If you're an old timer like me, and you're learning it or relearning it now, you're probably going to go into a drawer somewhere where we all throw all that Morse code stuff we never used and haul out whatever you used back then, back in the 70s, 80s, maybe even the 60s. Whatever you have tends to say, okay, I don't want to spend money on this because I didn't learn it the first time, so I'm going to use whatever I've got, and that's fine. Do what works for you. Do your research. Do your homework. Forget about the learn in 10 minutes, learn in 15 minutes, learn in 2 hours. Be prepared to put in, a good 30 minutes a day. Conscientious practice. Now, if you're a student, and I'm an example, who memorized, when I came back into it and realized it was all by sound, that was purely by accident because I'm one of those people who like to do things on their own. So I did all of that searching, came across a website, and boy, it was an eye-opener. I think we were doing 25 and 15, I think it was, or 20 and 15. And it was really hard to convert from, oh yeah, there's an A, dot, dash, right? Not even a D-DA, which is what we would say now. And I still get caught on that. Now, yes, I can go on the air, I can have lots of fun, 12, 13, 14 words a minute, whatever. But sometimes that old habit of memorizing comes back to bite me. As an example, my brain likes to take the easy way out. So if I'm stressed, if I'm tired, and I'm copying somebody, not sending, I don't have the issue sending, but if I'm copying someone, sometimes my brain takes the easy road and says, oh yeah, let's count dots and dashes. And the one that catches me the most is the letter W and the letter J, right? If you memorized it, dot, dash, dash, or dot, dash, dash, dash. Not D-da-da or D-da-da-da, right? My brain wants to count. And I can get screwed up on that sometimes. So if you're learning, and you learned initially by memorizing, or if you've memorized and now you're found a course you want to take, there is going to be a conversion period. There is going to be a period where your brain wants to fight with you, and instead of listening for the sound, it's going to want to count, the dots and dashes. You'll still hear me use that expression that I just did. Now, that was intentional. But sometimes when I'm talking, I immediately think of dots and dashes as opposed to dits and das. So there is that conversion period. It will still come back and bite you periodically, but you can overcome it. And I've had a couple of students recently who said, it's just so frustrating. Yes, it is. But put that aside. Make sure your character speed, and that's the big debate today, is what's the character speed, is fast enough that you can't sit there and count dits and das. That's the key. So if you're in that memorization trap, if you want to call it that, you will get over it. You will overcome it. It might require a little bit of concentration, a little bit more practice, maybe than what you expected. You're certainly not going to learn how to do Morse code in 10 minutes. Think ahead. Plan on, let's be fair, let's say months. How many months? Who knows? We all learn at different speeds. But put the practice in, get the practice in. Now, I like to do first contacts with people. All right, it's something I enjoy doing. It's just fun to give someone their very first contact. So I do a fair number of those, and a fair number where maybe I'm the second or third contact that they've got. It's easy to tell who memorized. Does it mean that they shouldn't be on the air? Not at all. I'm happy they're on the air, because once you're on the air, you do overcome a lot. You do pick up. You do improve. So even if you've memorized and you're on the air and you're frustrated, just go back, do a little bit of studying, listen to sound patterns. You can do it. And like I say to the people who've asked me this question, yes, you can. I'm proof of it. So are many others for that matter. You have to put the time in. You have to learn to tune your ear to those sound patterns. And in the end, you'll do it. And then you'll be on the air along with all of the rest of us. So do your homework. See what organization fits best in what you want to achieve. Read over their material. See why they teach, how they teach it. If that works for you, do it. We all look forward to seeing you on the air, because the ultimate aim of every organization out there, every app even out there, is to get you on the air. Throw away that chart of dots and dashes. You can do it. If you like this video, if you want to comment, please do. Like, share, and so on. It's Keith, Victor Echo 3, Sierra Victor, Quebec, wishing you the best. I do hope, however you study, whatever method, we'll get a chance to meet you on the air. 73.